What if your family didn't see you or saw you as something else? That's the way Harrison Mooney grew up as part of a white evangelical family in British Columbia's Bible Belt. He chronicles his experience in Invisible Boy, a memoir of self-discovery. Harrison joins us this morning from Vancouver. Thank you for joining us, getting up early at your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So I gotta admit, I cringe so hard in some spots of this because you basically grew up black in a white family. You didn't grow up black at all.
No, I didn't. I mean, obviously I look like this, but yeah, my family didn't really know how to deal with it. They didn't know how to teach me how to deal with it. In the end, we didn't see color. That was the way we treated that. So it meant nobody saw me.
Right. And let's backtrack a little bit. How did you even get placed with your family? You were adopted.
I was adopted at 11 days old. My birth mother, she had me for 5 days, and I guess the idea was that you weren't supposed to have me for any longer than that, because then she would bond with me and she might change her mind. So they took me home to Abbotsford, and I was told that she made a mistake, and that she was a sinner, and I shouldn't really look back. I shouldn't ask too many questions about it. That part of my identity was erased as much as it could be.
Mm-hmm. And you were homeschooled, so you really didn't see very many other black children.
Yeah, there were very few. There were a few other kids at some of the churches I attended, but they were adopted as well. So even when I did see other black children, they were being raised in different white families. They were being given a different language than I was to talk about who they were and who I was. And so there just really wasn't a way for us to connect about that. We didn't know how to talk about that, and we didn't know if we could. So, it was really difficult to connect with anybody else who looked like me.
Right, and very difficult to figure out, like, what is my culture? What's my heritage? And tell me about the moment where you kind of like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm not going to be that little invisible boy anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there were a number of moments, but certainly the one where I kind of put my foot down was a Halloween party that my family had. It was a harvest party because we were Christians, so we didn't celebrate Halloween. We just dressed up in costumes and collected candy on Halloween, but forgot. My younger brother dressed up as me, full blackface, and then they took a rainbow clown wig and spray painted it black. And, it was supposed to be a funny joke, but it was horrifying for me to see how easily you could become me with these kind of grotesque, costume props, and seeing this boy that my mom had built. Again, she'd made me look like that, and then she'd made my younger brother look like that. It was just kind of horrific, and I decided I don't want to be this little boy anymore. I want to be somebody people take seriously and somebody people see. It took a long time to get there still, but that was the turning point for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then the end of the book talks about you meeting your birth mother.
Mm-hmm. I met her when I was in my mid-20s. We met at a coffee shop here in Vancouver. And it was just a life-changing moment. I thought that, it might be just kind of nice. And I talked about it to my family members and to friends, like, I'm just satisfying my curiosity. But then, when I got there and I saw her and I saw that she was me, she looked like me. She had my mannerisms. She had my needs, my anxiety, my fears. And I just realized that, this is who I am. After all this time, just kind of, swirling around in the world, not knowing who I was or what I could be, meeting my mom and realizing, that's who I am. I come from her. There's a context for my nose, my eyes. There's, a context for the way that I look around nervously before I enter a room. I mean, it changed everything. And I really feel like that was one of the first times that I was looked on with love, like with real love.
Mm-hmm.
And I could tell right away. And that grounding, that foundation you're given when you know that your mom loves you. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, it really changed my life.
And that you're not invisible. It's a beautiful book, even though like the blackface thing, it was especially like cringy, like, oh.
Yes.
but good for you for writing about that. And well, I wish we had like half an hour to chat, Harrison, but we don't. So going to get other people to read this book. Harrison Mooney, the author of the memoir, Invisible Boy. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.